is MyOgba Fooball Fantasy where we talk about the game that all lot. It's Champions League week. Quarterfinals, so it's my leg where we already have certain teams training, certain teams traveling with their party. We are Real Madrid fell to the bowling of Michael Arteta's Arsenal 3-0 away at the Emirates. We have PSG who edged over Aston Villa with 3-1 win. Bayern Munich fell to the Zagi's defensive prowess after they lost 2-1 to Inter Milan, and Barcelona with the 40 smashing of Borussia Dortmund. But we'll be talking about the first few games of Tuesday. First of all, let us talk about PSG Aston Villa. Now, a lot of people have said if there are any team that will be come down, I have to suspect it. I apologize. I will not be doing this alone. I have a big Mr. on the left, and on my right is Mr. Bassing. I am the presenter of the Institution of Bassa. Thank you. Welcome to So, Mr. Wasi, do you think Aston Villa have what it takes to cool the combat? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abassa. It feels good to be back here today. And looking at what's actually happened in the first leg, we would realize that Aston Villa is actually lucky to even come back with that particular scoreline, 3-1. And if you are looking at what has happened to PSG in the past, and even their coach, Luis Enrique, said it last season that they've actually been unlucky because they have the players and they actually have what it takes to have won Champions League, considering what the rumors they've actually spent on the team since 2011. And talking about Aston Villa coming back, they have the support of their fans. And in every Champions League night, this is found visually the 12th player. I'm talking about playing in their own stadium, and you have the backing of your own fans. And even the coach has actually said it in the person of Amber. The support of the fans would actually tells a lot. It's goal along with definitely. However, PSG as a team, they have the players and they could feel they could get the job done in England. But as we've witnessed in the past, PSG, they've usually been complacent, and Aston Villa can actually, if they get the goal early, they can strike a comeback.
All right, speaking of complacency, PSG played a normal game against Liverpool. When they played to outplayed, they were outplayed. Quite luckily, they edged past Liverpool, I must say. Would you reckon the facts? This might also predict 7 stars. Or do you think they will go all out the way they did in France against every side?
Yeah, looking at with the advantage they had, so they will and the kind of players they have, they will still go all out. And talking about the Liverpool game, don't forget Liverpool also. So it has to be a game that is balanced. And going to Anfield, everybody knows Anfield is not a very good place to go and just take a win. So, and not just writing Aston Villa over, and Unai Emery himself being a very wonderful coach and the history has on him also. It's going to be a tight game, but I think PSG still has the edge with the attacking powers they have and what Dembele is doing. If you look at the numbers of Dembele, Do, and Bakula, it's absolutely very interesting.
I mean, but looking at their numbers, they are not part of the big boys, so to speak, in their first bracket. So, Mr. Wasiu, would you say the attacking force of PSG, they have to do a little bit more to bring the Champions League back to France?
Well, talking about the attacking players, I feel to an extent they've actually done well because they're even yet to lose a game in the league. They've won the league one already. And considering that from previous years, looking at the acquisition of PSG, what they actually have now, they are not actually depending on a single player. So every player they've come and brought, and if the goal is not coming from the belly, you have Bakula that has actually done well. There is also, though, they have Vitia they have a couple of players that can actually get the goals. So it's not even about a single player as that's even Fedez Cavachal, who has even done so well coming from the Georgia. And it's just about a team effort. And if you've looked at PSG this season, you realize that they are not too reliant on the single player. So every player they've come on board and they've actually done well. So I don't have an issue as regards where their goal or where the top performance is actually coming from. Even Hakimi is a number of years, their defense, we have Ramos. In fact, PSG as a team now, they actually have a stability compared to previous years where they rely on star players.
Okay, well, now let us talk injuries. This game, Aston Villa and PSG, is one of the two games that we could argue both sides are of injury free, aside for Iyo Brady, who is injured for Arsenal. We do not have any records of injury for PSG. Not that I. Do you think this is an advantage for PSG? I mean, it is an advantage, but do you think it's an advantage or playing more to their favor going against Aston Villa?
Yes, it's a very good advantage for them because if if the first thing is not performing, then you can quickly go to your bench and come and with Aston Villa, just like you said, Billy, then I think Minks, Tyrone Mings, most of their players are back. Yeah, I think Leeds is injured also. So, and they too have the firepower, but like I said, it's PSG's attack. And you notice the first leg, the calmness when Aston Villa scored. They were not nervous. They were like, no, okay, let's go with it. And talking about Vuteha, we didn't really talk about the impact of Fabio Ruiz and John Evans. Those guys are good. Their work rate, the calmness of Fabio Ruiz when he has the ball, he can move faster without you laying, and his passes. And you see John Evans bring this out the box everywhere in the pitch. We really talked about Vizera, we're talking about Dembele, them duo. That boy is fantastic. I said he has 12 goals, 12 assists this season. He's amazing. For he's doing fine.
We seem to be writing off Aston Villa. If you were Unai Emery going up against PSG's, the Russia's attacking team in this stage of the UEFA Champions League, how and you like what would you sit back and defend, try to catch them at the counter, Merida Basquiat, that contest Rashford, Sergio Kadi, Bernary, besides assist? Would you sit back, defend, try to give a counter? Or would you go all out because you are born how you are?
Thank you very much. Talking about the tactics and members should adopt. And in the previous leg, he actually said the team should just go all out, play their game, and not about trying to tweak the tactics. However, talking about the return leg, of course, he expects his players to go all out as well because without getting the goals, they probably wouldn't get to the next round. So they don't have any other tactics than to be compact and expect every players across the pitch to actually have an good game. So to say, and presently, just as you rightly say and stated, they have a fully fit squad and they can just expect that they take their chances and almost they may just get one or two goals and try as much as they can not to allow the ever formidable PSG attacks to get any one at all.
If you were really very weak,
Yes.
understanding that the next couple of games goes relatively so very online. Aston Villa will be facing Newcastle, top facing Manchester City, correct? Would you think the strongest players to just see a game, or would you think, nah, let me give the little guys a chance?
I think he.
Sorry, it's a 3-1 thing, the ticket.
Yes. I think he will still feel the strongest side. Maybe if he can get like a goal or two, then in the second half we can rest some Florence because I think Champions League should be their major priority now. They shouldn't want to risk losing their players in the league and losing the Champions League. So I think he will feel the very strong side. And he knows Aston Villa also.
So, are we unanimously agreeing that going into the start, Aston Villa are the underdogs, and we will have to do something magical? Yes.
Of course, Aston Villa is actually the underdog. However, one thing I would say would actually work in their favor is looking at PSG's previous appearance in this competition. You realize that even at a point, some of their players, they say probably they are obsessed about winning that Champions League. And you know when players are actually obsessed, they don't actually, they feel so they might not give their best, and of course they might just be so desperate. So, and we know what desperation could actually turn to. They could make mistakes and feel probably how that's from previous experience, how that's giving out or trying to concede as they've done in the past. Maybe they've just faltered at the very important phase of the competition.
So, in my MyOgba Fooball Fantasy, who are we giving the W? Are we giving PSG the win? Are we tipping PSG to win? Or maybe edge pass by a draw? Are they avoiding go to? Do you feel they are trying to go to?
Kayla holds Aston Villa. Probably a draw. But when they played in the first leg, they could actually win it again. But the scoreline will be different.
It is MyOgba Fooball Fantasy, and right here we are tipping PSG to edge over Aston Villa. However, Aston Villa might still be able to pull something from their back pockets because, anyway, this is football. This is MyOgba Fooball Fantasy. My name is Rodisha Obasa. I'm with me, Mr. Sil and Mr. Basil.